It is a huge day in the Rosbifs calendar because, yes, it is Le Crunch, England v France. The Rosbifs taking on the Frogs in the old, slightly derogatory name. But we are here to talk through the French side and the big news. We know a load about this French side, but we're going to peel a little bit below the surface for you. The headline news is, of course, the return of Mathieu Jalibert. Elsewhere, there's two big injury boosts. Damien Penaud comes back from his injury. He's looking to take on the France try-scoring record. He's only 2 behind Serge Blanco. Could he do it in this game? We don't know. But elsewhere, more importantly, Paul Boudon is fit. He'd missed a couple of days training earlier this week. Very quietly, he is becoming the key man in that French back row, which is, it's a back row of real repute with Aldrit and Francois Cross in there. But Boudon, we think, is the key man. He's so abrasive, so powerful, so dynamic. Just a bit of edge, bit of anger that they need in that back row. But let's get into the 3 sections. So, section 1, key man, Jalibert. Absolutely has to be. Is he the prodigal son or is he more the black sheep? Let's get our analogies right. I think he's probably the black sheep. I think Ntamack is probably the prodigal son. The rift between Galtier and Jalibert from the autumn seems to be forgotten. It's been a bit of a hokey-cokey past 12 months for Jalibert in bleu. He's been in and out all over the place. Injuries and then also just the return of Ntamack and just falling out of favour with Galtier. But can he put those slightly indifferent performances for France behind him? This is his chance to be the main man. It's not too drastic, I don't think, to say that it feels like now or never for him. A little bit last chance saloon. We would absolutely love him to click with Tony D, Antoine Dupont, because the sky's the limit if those two click together. The possibility of that partnership is so high. The ceiling on it, they are both extraordinary players. Would love to see it click, regardless of the fact they're playing England. One to watch, so one we don't know about quite as much, Michael Guillard. A lot of focus has been on Alexandre Roumat playing out of position in the second row. It's only his second start in the second row, and last week was his first start in the second row. Guillard will be looking to prove a point off the bench. He's kind of quite unlucky not to get that start. He's a second row that can play 8, and he's been really impressive every time he's pulled on a blue jersey for Les Bleus. Carried hard off the bench last week. That's kind of what they need. They need a bit of power. They need that. He's a really good line-out operator because he's a big guy. Doesn't seem to have been overawed by the transition up to international rugby. He seems well suited for it. As I said, he's been brilliant in all of the games that he's played for France, starting from last summer against Argentina. We are big fans. We think he should be starting. He also looks fantastic in a camel trench coat and a pair of wire rim glasses. Just a very good-looking man off the field. How to beat France? How do we beat them? High ball and line out would be the main ones. England's selection seems to have negated those 2 areas to target against France. They've not picked Freddie Stewart and they've left Ollie Chesson on the bench. France and Toulouse's, because obviously they're kind of completely linked, that has inexplicably started to wobble of late. It's the same operators it has done. They're all brilliant operators individually, but it started to wobble. Malvaka's throwing hasn't been quite what it was. I don't know what's going on there. Some teams have been able to target them. You have to disrupt France at first phase. Fabien Galtier likes to attack off first phase balls. We've seen that. We also know that the back line of UBB, which makes up the vast majority of this back line, that Bordeaux back line, are brilliant off first phase ball as well, as are Toulouse. But with that back line, with Jalibert at 10, they are going to look to target off first phase ball. And England have got to target France off that line out and at that scrum. Can they, with Roumat in the second row? Jean-Baptiste Cross is a brilliant scrummager at loose head, but he's inexperienced. Can they target that side of scrum and get a bit of edge at scrum time and slightly disrupt them at that first phase? In terms of the high ball, that it's the same back 3. It's a long time ago, but it's the same back 3 that played in that quarter-final defeat against South Africa in the World Cup that got well and truly targeted and arguably cost France the game in that quarter-final of Bielbiaré, Penaud and Ramos. Bielbiaré has improved a lot since then. Ramos, I think, also has improved quite a lot, but expect England to disrupt them still, even without Freddie Stewart. Freddie Stewart could have been brilliant on the kick chase, but they do have Daly on the bench. They've got Tommy Freeman. They've got guys that can kick chase, so I would expect them to target France under the high ball. So high ball and first phase, target them a line out, target them a scrum. I don't think they've got the selection for it, right? But that is how England can beat France. Let us know what you think. There's plenty to dive into in this game. Let us know if any players you want to know more about. I can't believe Atis Ogbe has been dropped. We love him. Guyton on the bench, we absolutely love. Get in touch. Let us know your thoughts. Who's going to win it? We actually, personally, I can't speak for Rich. Rich, I think his support is saying head France, heart England. Personally, I think England have got performance in them. I think we've seen this side over the last 4 or 5 years, even in their pretty rubbish state, they have got a game in them. Can they pull out that game? When they get written off, they pull out a performance. It could be today. They could get that win. It's not very nice conditions. That could also negate France. So personally, I'm going for England, but it's such a talented France side. You can't rule out, well, if Dupont and Jalibert click with Ramos in there as well, it could be carnage because those three are exceptional. So let us know what you think. Get in touch.